All right. We are now live. Well, let's do this. So, a bunch of social security numbers were stolen today. Well, actually, technically. So, the news broke out in the last 4 to 24 hours across the major news outlets. But the actual activity of these 2.9 billion social security numbers being stolen occurred in April, apparently. This is a pretty big breach. It is a trending story worldwide. And surprisingly, it didn't really show up on my own Instagram feed or my own kind of social circles. I feel like we have this fatigue of all these data breaches and shit happening. I don't know. You know what I need? When a story like this happens? Good old cold brew. That's what I need. So this is a little hack. Try not to blow my life savings at Starbucks every day. I still am, but a little Target cold brew action can't hurt you, right? So that's what I need to get through this story today. Because why the fuck are social security numbers and other credit card numbers and identities and all this shit, why is it being stolen? And how? Like, is this the new norm? Is this just going to keep happening everywhere all the time? Well, that needed to be shaken up. That's disgusting. Okay. All right. I hope you're drinking coffee right now. If you are, cheers. So let's check this out. Let's see what's going on here. Let's jump to this screen here. 2.9 billion records, including social security numbers, were stolen in data hack. What to know? Okay, let's see if this... Why is there just so much cancer all over this screen? God damn, I hate ads. Maybe I can turn on... No, I can't even turn on ad block because then the news site won't let me actually watch. So, okay, what to know. An enormous amount of social security numbers and other sensitive information for millions of people could be in the hands of a hacking group after a data breach. Okay, so the hacking group USDOD, that's funny because when I read that, I thought it was United States Department of Defense. So the hacking group USDOD, who knows? Maybe it could be undercover. Maybe it's the Department of Defense just fucking with us. I don't know. This group has stolen these records from a group called National Public Data. Look at that, National Public Data. So what's great is when news stories like this happen, and I want to avoid all this cancer, aka all these ads, like this nonsense ads. It's just what is all this? It's nonsense. ChatGPT saved the day, right? So I did a little thorough analysis between ChatGPT and Gemini in the responses. I said, and I pay for ChatGPT. That's right, I pay for it. I'm not a cheap fuck. I pay for my value. I don't pay for a lot of things, but ChatGPT is well worth it. $20 a month, well worth it. And if I didn't pay for it, if I use the free web version access, which I tried earlier, I didn't get access to the news story. It just didn't show up. It says, oh, my data is only updated until like August 1st or something like that. And it's August 15th today. And for some reason, the news stories of the last like week or several days are not updated in the free version of ChatGPT. So life hack, if you want up-to-date real-time information, upgrade to ChatGPT Plus. I asked it, and it off the bat said this much more clearly than the USA Today article said. It said the breach involved National Public Data, a firm specializing in background checks and criminal record searches, which had its entire database compromised. So I immediately thought, what is NPD? Is this just like, I don't know, one of those government agencies or groups that has all their social security data? Like, who is this group and where are they from? What's going on here? What are they doing with our information? Like, why do they have our information? If this is a government agency, shouldn't they have that information securely locked away? I mean, it's a big bad sign if our government agencies are getting hacked, and that should be even more public news. Why isn't this being talked about even more? That's a bit confusing to me. So let's jump back into this article here because that really threw me off. And I looked up National Public Data, this interesting, strange company name. And if you're just joining, welcome to my live stream. We're discussing why the hell 2.9 billion social security numbers were stolen and why yours might be stolen And by the end of this live stream, you will walk away with knowing if your number was stolen or not. Okay, NPD, full screen. Let's check it out. This is a weird website. I mean, just off the bat, like, is it just me? Okay, you guys go on your desktop. If you're on your desktop, look up nationalpublicdata.com. This firm had our social security numbers. They have over 2.9 billion numbers, which doesn't even make sense because like those aren't all American numbers, right? So I don't. What is going on here? Did I get this number right? 2.9 billion. There's not 2.9 billion Americans. What? Okay. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe this is just a hype number, but let's go back here. NPD, that logo is like fuzzy. So that off the bat just gives me bad vibes. I'm like, okay, this is a little sketch. I don't know what NPD is all about. What's up with NPD? XML API data service with criminal records, background checks, and more. Their services are currently used by investigators, background check websites, data resellers, mobile apps, applications, and more. Join now and enjoy quality data with low fees and no monthly minimums. Okay, that is freaking sketch. This is definitely not a government website, government agency, or even like a legitimate cybersecurity agency. That's just odd. That is very odd. Like, what's up with this red? Okay, I'm just judging the branding of this website. This is how I think most people actually make informed decisions right away. You can kind of just, your spidey senses go off right away when you're evaluating a website. Okay, so I did shortcut this, and let's see. I asked Gemini as well about this incident and what happened. All right, Gemini, tell me the same question I asked ChatGPT. How were 2.9 billion social security numbers stolen today? Give me a thorough analysis. I asked Gemini as well. Back to back. Ooh, look at this. I love this. It's like a headline. It's like a story. A critical analysis of the claim. 2.9 billion social security numbers stolen today. There is no credible evidence to support the claim that 2. Oh my goodness. I was bamboozled. I fell for it. Fuck you, Gemini. No, ChatGPT, off the bat, just better. I mean, this is just hallucinations. It's saying there's no credible evidence. No, Gemini, there is credible evidence. Look at this. MSN.com. This happened. This is a thing. This is a story, Gemini. Don't mess with me today. I got my coffee. I'm going. All right. Fucking Google. This is why Google makes those. You ask the Google who the founding fathers are, and apparently they're black. No, they're not black. They're white. What's with Google, man? Okay, I'm curious now. Let's ask Google or Gemini a better question. I feel like these social security breaches, these data breaches, these identity breaches happen all the time. Like, is it just me? These things happen all the time. Oh, I guess I'm off camera. Shit, my bad. Sorry, guys. Yeah, is it just me? Because I do feel like these things happen all the time. And I want to know, like, how many times they've happened. Like, this must have been like the third or fourth time, right? I mean, I remember my own, what was it? Wasn't it like my credit, something related to my credit score? Experian had this huge data breach. Experian, I believe, is one of the 3 aggregators that collects all the credit scores and credit information for all borrowers of America. If I'm not mistaken, I think like well over 45% of Americans' data is with Experian. And I believe they had a huge data breach before COVID, sometime like in 2018 or 17. That was bad. That was really, really, really bad. I remember that was in the news for like 2 or 3 days. And it was very unclear whether my information was with them or not, or if your information was with them or not. It was very unclear. These headlines come out, people see them, but then like I feel like 5% of people actually understand whether or not they were impacted by this until like some bad shit happens and like all of a sudden they can't log into their bank account. They're trying to get a goddamn Wendy's cheeseburger. They ran out of cash. They're going to the ATM, trying to get some cash, get some Wendy's, and they can't get in. They can't get in because some asshole stole their social security number through a credit agency like Experian. So, all right. Anyways, back to how many times has shit like this happened in the last 10 years? Okay. Gemini says tracking the exact number of social security number breaches of the last 10 years is difficult. Okay. Thanks for just whining. like underreporting, data aggregation. However, we can look at some significant data points, major breaches. Several high-profile incidents occurred. Oh, here we go. Sorry, not Experian. My bad, guys. Equifax. I always mess up that name. Not Experian, my bad. Equifax. And I was right. It was 2017. They had that massive data breach. Capital One, I believe that's the bank, right? Or is Capital One a group that owns the bank? And that's 2019. Okay, so that was 2 years. That was a year before COVID. And then the recent NPD data breach. Oh, would you look at this? Would you look at this, Gemini? It acknowledges the recent data breach that just occurred, right, with NPD. It knows that NPD had a data breach now. But for some strange reason, check this out. Look at this. If I go to the earlier search and I said, how did this shit happen? It says there's no credible evidence. It said this claim is likely false. It just hallucinated. Very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. It is, okay, look at the date. It is August 15, 2024. AI and large language models have been roughly around for, let's say, give or take 18, 20 months now. And for some nonsensical reason, Gemini decides to hallucinate between two different prompts that are very closely related, whereas ChatGPT answers this question on Social Security information perfectly, actually. And maybe that's what you get when you pay for value, right? I mean, I'm paying $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, and I'm not paying shit for Google's Gemini. Okay, all right. I'm done rambling about Google Gemini. We'll see. Maybe they'll piss me off again. Let's see here. Okay, so 3 major data breaches: Equifax, Capital One, and NPD. And okay, so it costs a lot of money. But what I want to know is like what exactly went down, the history of these data breaches. Okay, so these are some agencies you can contact if your feelings were hurt. You can go to identitytheftresourcecenter.com. You can talk to the FTC. Have I been owned? Oh, interesting. Let's check this out. So, is that how you pronounce this? How have I been owned? I'm not hip with it anymore. 30 years old. I'm not with the cool kids on TikTok. I am on TikTok, actually. I am. Have I Been Owned is a website that allows internet users to check whether their personal data has been compromised by data breaches. Oh, is this like hidemyass.com? I'm serious. For those who don't know, hidemyass.com was one of the great VPNs of this century. I mean, like, what there's no better name than that. Like, and I believe when you showed up, it was like a donkey. It was like a big donkey logo on the website, and you could browse the internet anonymously. No one would ask you a question or a thing, and you'd have to pay $1. I'm pretty sure you could use that and mask yourself from China, from Indonesia, wherever you wanted to. Okay, this kind of gives me those vibes. How have I been owned, or whatever, however you pronounce that? I feel like such an idiot not pronouncing that properly. This website was created by security expert Troy Hunt about 11 years ago. Who is Troy Hunt? Oh shit, I just saw that name recently. Okay, so I checked on X. I was like, what the fuck's going on with Social Security numbers? Why? Who did this breach? Why did this breach happen? How severe is this breach? Should I be concerned? Is my data out there? Like, can I get my, if I'm trying to renew my passport next year, like, can I renew my passport? Like, I want to go to the Bermuda Triangle. That's where I want to go. Can I do that? So on X, this is, I think honestly, low key, Twitter, I know a lot of people, Twitter's political now, right? A lot of people have a lot of strong thoughts on Elon, Twitter, and all the, the change in politics. But still, I think it has some of the rawest, most clear-cut information on news stories that you can't get anywhere else. First of all, I'm not going to be bombarded by like bullshit cancerous ads like that I'm getting on MSN.com, and I can't even read the damn story, right? Like, I can't even scroll properly. It's 2024. Let me scroll the damn article properly. And then, and then Gemini is hallucinating, right? So I can't always trust AI and LLMs to give me news properly. But Twitter, low-key, Twitter has some of the like raw nuggets of information, just raw nuggets, beautiful, beautiful, tasty nuggets of information. So look at this here. Hack Manac says the 2.9 billion records of United States. Oh, Canada and UK. Okay, I was confused earlier. The other three, it was like US only has 360 million, 380 million Americans. And I believe, yeah, so I mean, like, you know, probably 10 million of those are illegal immigrants, right? So like, where is the billions coming from here? I see. Canada and UK accounts for the billions of records that were stolen. Now, what's cool is they're giving more detail here. They're saying about 4 terabytes of a database was compromised. I see. With 2.9 billion rows exfiltrated from this website, from the shady ass website NPD that we. If you're just joining the live stream, go to nationalpublicdata.com and tell me how shady this website is. Man, I just get weird vibes when I'm on this website. Let me go back to X. Okay, and okay, so they are a public records data provider specializing in background checks and fraud prevention. And on the dark web, the database is on sale for $3.5 billion. Hold up. I'm gonna go call my buddy. No. $3.5 billion? What the hell is going on here? And the credentials for the server are included. So that means someone can go in and manipulate the database today if they want to? Sounds like a good deal. Given the massive amount of data, the likelihood that this claim is inflated and that the data is scraped from public sources is high. Further analysis will confirm or deny these claims. You know, this is like the most real-time, legit, I feel like, update I've seen. Wow. What's up with this kitty cat? Oh, that's the shady actor. What's up with cats and like the internet? Like I don't know. I mean, cats were like a whole thing. What was it? lolcats.com? lolcats.com? It's a fun fact, actually. This is a total tangent. when I was a teenager, I was like 14 years old. I registered the domain name lmaocats.com. I'm not shitting you. lmaocats.com. Because in my head, I was like, all right, what's the natural progression after lol, right? Like LOL, laugh out loud. Like, what's the natural progression after you're laughing out loud? This right here, you're laughing your ass out loud, right? Laugh my ass out loud, like out loud. So I was like, yeah, lolcats, that's huge trending website with lots of cat memes everywhere. Of course, LMAO cats, that's going to be the next big thing. So I bought the domain name, and it was, if you look at that, that's 7 letters, right? lmaocats.com, or 8 letters if you add the S. And yeah, I secured a pretty good one. Didn't fucking renew it after 3 years. I guarantee you that domain name is worth at least 10 grand right now. So stupid. Anyways. All right, so this shady actor, this cute, innocent looking cat is not so cute at all. No. Not so cute at all. And this is welcome to the dark web, guys. If you're just joining, welcome to the dark web. This cat has your social security number. That's right. This cat has your social security number. And there's 2.9 billions of records on sale with, okay, so it says there's 200 gigabytes compressed. Okay, so the 4 terabytes uncompressed of data is actually 200 GB compressed. You know, I can fit that on my iPhone. I got that super upgrade on my iPhone. I got a terabyte, I think, a terabyte of space on my iPhone. Wow, I can handle 5 of these data breaches on my iPhone. That's pretty legit, man. That is pretty legit. Wow. Oh, look at this. If you're not sold already on this beautiful data breach by this innocent US DOD, Department of Defense cat, they're selling you with some examples. Oh, look at this. Here's Tony Robbins' social security number. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's that Olympic athlete's social security number. Wow. What a world we live in. There's advertising and selling for and just some niche marketing tactics used, social proof tactics, some preview tactics. Oh, you want a taste of all this juicy illegal information that I just got? Check it out right here. Check it out. Wow. So, okay. So now we know a couple of things. We know that this data breach is legitimate. It occurred with a firm called National Public Data. By all accounts, from my intense research in the last 20 minutes of that website, they're shady as fuck. It is being sold on the dark web by a cat for $3.5 billion. And number 4, this is one of the top 3 data breaches that's occurred in the last, let's call it 7-8 years. So your social security number is in the hands of a cat, and National Public Data is irresponsible as fuck. So what's up with National Public Data? Why do they have our numbers in the first place? Like, why do they have our social security numbers? I swear to God, I saw this somewhere else earlier. Okay, here we go. National Public Data is a data broker company that performs employee background checks. Their primary service is collecting information from public data sources, including criminal records, addresses, employment history. Look at that keyword right there. Public data sources. Public. The data is public. They're mining data that's just out there, which is odd. Interesting. Yeah, that is odd. They've been collecting social security numbers secretly over the last 3 decades somehow through public information. That's a bit odd. I don't understand that entirely. If someone has that information on that, can you just let me know? Yeah, I don't fully understand. I'm gonna check YouTube. I don't know how the hell to see my comments on YouTube or my LinkedIn. Okay, I'm not entirely sure. You guys can see my LinkedIn feed, my YouTube feed here. Fantastic. Okay, so interesting. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. It's 3.5 million, not 3.5 billion. That wouldn't make any sense. Who would buy for 3.5 billion? Meant to say 3.5 million. So if you got 3.5 million in the bank, it's your lucky day. You can do business deals with the cat. This cat right here. This cat has your data. Okay, let's see what X has to say, because I want more information. I want more raw nuggets of information. And so far, we've learned that if you want information, don't go to msn.com and don't use Gemini, because Gemini is nonsense. It's hallucinating. I asked 2 different prompts, and it gave me the wrong answers. One prompt tells me a data breach never occurred. It gave me 15 reasons for why that's likely fake news. And then the other prompt said, oh yeah, this data breach occurred. It was one of the top 3 data breaches in the last 8 years. All right, so clearly X, aka Twitter, has the real information. So let's check this out. I'm going to warn you guys, I don't know what's going to pop up in this as I scroll. So if some crazy shit pops up, don't blame me, man. Call Elon. Don't blame me. Just putting that out there. All right. Social Security. Let's see what Twitter has to say. So y'all can hack everybody's Social Security, but still can't erase everybody's debt. That's right. That's true. Oh, Kamala. Kamala Harris will protect Social Security in the programs. Okay, fuck that. I don't want to listen to politics right now. The hacker stole all our Social Security numbers. LeBron James. Whoa. I relate with this meme. This is kind of how I feel, right? If I wasn't covering this and doing a deep dive on this live right now with all you hooligans, I'm like, okay, my data's out there. Fuck. It's a primal native instinct in all of us to want to protect ourselves and our offsprings and our families and the people close to us. We're just genetically coded to do that, right? So when some really close, near and dear shit to our heart or to our identity is at stake or is at risk of being exposed, our primal instincts go off. We're like, oh my God, what is happening? Am I am I going to be in trouble? Am I safe? Am I safe? Those alarm bells are going off. And, it's happened so many times in the last 10 years. I feel like our alarm bells have stopped going off. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? Like, how many times are you going to cry wolf? Cried wolf 3 times. I'm not going to listen to you anymore. Screw the wolf. So that's I think that's what's happening with the age of the internet and some of these news stories with data leaks. Personally, I'm pretty strange with this. I don't give a shit. I put everything out on the internet. I really don't give a fuck. I have a lot of friends that do, though. They'll use DuckDuckGo.com. It's an anonymous search engine. They'll, disable all the cookies, right? They'll go on their iPhone and they're getting asked, do you want this app to let you, to track your information on other applications, right? iPhones started doing that in the last, year and a half. I just say yes. I'm pro data. I'm like, yeah, take my shit, take my information. You know why? Because maybe I want some sour gummy worms that I've been craving, and you just gave me a delicious, beautiful ad on Instagram for those sour gummy worms, and now I have them. In fact, actually, I have something even better. This is what happened. This is what I got. Instagram, Mark Zuck, the big Zuck, and Bezos and all those hooligans out there have been tracking my shit for so long. They know all the fitness YouTubers, all those finance bros and all those fucking guys and what they sell and the ads they put out there. Like, oh, those lifespan people, right? Andrew Huberman, Dr. Huberman folks. They're like, oh, you got to have creatine. You got to have creatine. Have 10 grams of creatine a day and your lifespan will increase. Well, I'm a sucker for that. And this shit looks like candy and it's amazing. And because I shared my privacy settings to be open, I said 10 different apps can, watch me and follow me along. I got these because Instagram served me these ads. And that's what I'm all about. More data sometimes results in more value. So, all right, back to what I was saying. This meme of LeBron James, hackers stole all my social security numbers. Yeah, I relate to it. I get it. It sounds like the boy who cried wolf, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, I think we're getting into real conservative Twitter over here now. Here's Donald Trump telling you that he's going to pass legislation that will no longer tax Social Security benefits. Okay, that has nothing to do with this story. Okay, this is the story. Okay, that's no new information. Physical addresses? Interesting. So this tweet is saying physical addresses were also stolen. That's no bueno. That would make sense why 2.9 billion records were stolen. Because records can mean anything. There could be one record for every physical address or email address or some other type of address, IP address. Which means there's not actually 2.7 billion social security numbers, which still does not make any sense because there's 380 million Americans. And if you add Canada and UK, which are smaller countries than us, let's call it más o menos 50 million to 100 million people. Are there really 100 million Brits out there? That's crazy if there are. That's still, this must be other information. This must be addresses in this as well. So the 2.9 billion is very misleading. Okay. Big Tuxin Dad. Hackers stole every American social security number. All yours, buddy. Enjoy my debt and lack of property or assets. That's what I use Twitter for. That's some good shit right there. I like that. The hackers, after they use my social security number and start getting calls from debt collectors. Yep. All right. I hear you. Okay. Breaking. Hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every single American as well as other sensitive documents totaling around 2.9 billion records per LA Times. The Biden-Harris regime is totally incompetent, run by stupid people. This should never happen. Fuck you, okay? Literally fuck you. This has nothing to do with politics or Kamala Harris. I'm not even a fan of Kamala. What the? I hate tweets like this. I just hate shit like this. Whoever you are, Nick, do better journalism. And meanwhile, suck a fat egg. Okay, opposing force. Every single American checking their bank accounts after their social security number gets leaked. See, okay, this goes into how do we prepare ourselves for this, and how do you find out if you are safe? So I asked ChatGPT this as well. I asked them, how do I stay safe? I believe I'm asking here. Yes. Okay. How do I know if my number was in NPD's database? Well. To determine if your social security number or other personal information is included. Now, sometimes I feel like I get overwhelmed with information from GPT, and sometimes it feels like just filler nonsense I'm being feeded, and I just want like just the value, right? I just want the bits and bytes that I care about. But these bullet point lists do help, and I think these are actually some good pointers. So first place to go is credit monitoring service. So if you're not using one of these things, like for example, like Credit Karma, I use Credit Karma to file taxes. I've also used Credit Karma in the past to, I think, help me with like something related to getting a home appraisal or a mortgage appraisal or something related to like, or mortgage approval, pre-approval loan. I believe I went to Credit Karma to check my credit first, and then I went to go to a bank to then get the mortgage approval. So anyways, that is a place to start. Maybe subscribe to one of these services. They're free. And I'm guessing they should give you a letter. So I hate this as well because it's totally reactive. I'd rather be proactive about this, right? If you're paranoid as shit in general, or just anxious, or just like you care about your data and your privacy, which is why I'm sure you're watching this. There's over 22 people combined watching this live right now. If that's the case, like you probably just want to know now, like, do you have my social or not? Like, because I got to know if I need to put up like wooden doors outside my house and just put up a, security fence or some shit. I get that. I don't think there actually is a proactive way to find out. But let's see. Maybe there is. The credit monitoring service is a place to start to be reactive about this. Oh, this is fun. ChatGPT says you should join the dark web. You ready for that? You ready? You ready to hang out with this kitty over here? This guy? Oh, yeah. I can't even zoom in. But this guy right here, we can go find his profile on the dark web and then go see if more preview samples are there and if our number is there. That's one way to find out. And ChatGPT is saying you should do it. I like that. That's spicy. That is spicy. Okay. I misinterpreted this. I thought they were saying go actually sign up for like Silk Road, which is a famous drug marketplace on the dark web. They're not saying that. They're saying actually sign up for a service that monitors the dark web. Okay, that's much more safe. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense why ChatGPT would say that, because ChatGPT is supposed to be like politically correct and just like safe and all that innocence and everything that this live stream is not. Yeah. Okay. Check official notices. If your information was involved in the breach, NPD or the entities managing the class action lawsuit may reach out to affected individuals. Okay. So this is something I wanted to comment on. This incident happened in April. It actually did not happen yesterday or this week. This incident happened in April. I think the class action lawsuit just got filed this month, which is why this is breaking headlines. This is a trending story on Google News around the world. This is the top 5 trending stories of today. Fuck, that's good. That is good. Oh my God. If you're not on this already, the Colombians, man. La Colombe. Look at that. Oat milk, double. Oh no, shit, this is a double. Oh boy. I hope I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls. Cold brew with oat milk. I think one of the best inventions in this last decade. With all this like non-dairy nonsense. Non-dairy nonsense. I like that. Someone should make that a poster. With all this non-dairy nonsense, oat milk. Oh my God. It's just, I didn't even know that could be a thing. I don't understand how you get milk out of oats. It really blows my mind away. But fucking love the taste of like a nutty milk. Don't go there. Don't just get your mind out of the gutter. I love the taste of oat milk. It's delicious. I think it's like humanly ingrained in us to enjoy oats. Okay, so check official notices. Keep an eye on official communication. I think this is regarding the class action lawsuit. So I don't. Maybe just check your mail. I don't check my mail. I barely ever check my mail. Maybe you should check your mail. Maybe like that's what you got to do. That's still reactive though. Okay. Use breach notification sites. All right. Have I been owned? This is the Wikipedia thing we were just looking at earlier. Have I been owned? So you know what? Let's look this up. Let's go here. Or actually, before we even do that, when did they start? Okay, so Troy Hunt. Oh, Troy Hunt is the guy, is a security expert that started this back in 2013. I got sidetracked and I forgot to mention to you guys, before we were checking out this kitty over here who has all your money and your bank account and your identity. That's why I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? I love dots connecting. Look at that. Look at that shit. Hackmanac, the nugget source of information on this entire breaking story, tagged Troy Hunt. Troy Hunt. Far more known than Mike Hunt. Let's see. Creator of Have I Been Owned, Microsoft Regional Director, Pluralsight author, online security technology in the cloud Australian. Oh, he's an Aussie fella. He's probably a funny dude. Love my Australians. Jim Jeffries. Shout out to Jim Jeffries. Famous comedian. Okay. Fun. Creator Have I Been Owned has led to so many experiences supporting law enforcement agencies like the Aussie Fed Police. Okay, so this seems like this organization, website, whatever you may call it, is legit. Have I been owned? Check if your email has been compromised. All right, let's see. Okay. I'm trying to understand their credentials here right now. Let's see. 800 owned websites. What does that mean? 14 billion owned accounts, 115,000 pace, and 228 million. I have literally no idea what the hell any of this means. They need to hire the graphic designer from NPD, National Public Data. That's what they need to do. Okay, largest breaches. I'm still very confused what any of this means. Okay, that's relevant. 500 million Facebook accounts? Wow. Okay. So, man, like what is the internet? Like there's just so much shit that's happened in the last 15 years that there's just been data breaches left and right. Like Facebook accounts have been stolen and like all these other, I don't even understand some of these things. Verifications.io, I'm guessing that's a verification service. So that's what I initially thought National Public Data was. I thought National Public Data was like one of those intermediary or third party like websites that collects your social when you're going through some verification on like a bank or I don't know, some other important life related like finance application that you have going on. I thought this was one of those intermediary services, like a third party that's watching. No, these assholes are just like scraping data left and right in general and then selling that data to people, or not selling it, but using it for, people that want to do background checks and criminal record checks and all that stuff. And it's an API data service. So I don't know if they're assholes. I'm just, exaggerating there. They just give me shady vibes. I mean, let's look at services. Let's look at what National Public Data is all about. Our XML API web service checks and more are all available via our XML API gateway. Do you prefer your criminal records and other searches delivered to you via XML? Hell yeah, I do. That's all we do. Wow, look at you guys. Amazing. All our searches can be delivered in XML for you to embed into your applications and websites, which is perfect for those reselling public records. Okay, so they're hitting at XML. I don't know why. XML is just like a file format. It's not like something mind-boggling, like revolutionary. Like it's like saying, hey, do you want me to deliver your information in a PDF? I can give it to you in a PDF instead of a Word document. What? Yeah, I think, I tried to get more information on national public data before this live stream, and I couldn't. All the information on them was related to this breach that just occurred. So it is still kind of up in the air. It's confusing. But okay. Anyways, guys, go to haveibeenowned.com if you want to check if your email or identity is somewhat associated with this social security breach. I don't know if email addresses are tied to the social security records, but once again, let's just use some inference here, some just standard inference. 2.9 billion records were breached, right? So 2.9 billion rows in massive amounts of databases of a database were breached. And there cannot be more than, let's ask GPT. There cannot be more than 800 million people involved in this, right? It's US, Canada, and UK, right? US, Canada, and UK. Okay, what is the population? Population of US, Canada, and UK combined. Let's see. What's the population of US? Wow, I was right. I was like, does Britain have 100 million people? Yeah, that's right. Those guys don't. Canada. Oh, tiny Canada. Okay, so it's 468 million people in total. I mean, so let's do 2.9 be divided by 468. All right. So, I mean, we're looking at, a 6x multiple here of data. So 6x multiple, 6.2. So the reason I did that calculation there is, I mean, if every single person's social security number was in the breach from United States, Britain, and Canada, then that would be that doesn't make sense, because then there needs to be 6 other data points for every single data point for a social security number. Do you guys follow me? Get what I'm saying here, right? Like if a social security number is one record, right? Then there would be 468 million records of all our social security numbers in that database. I don't think that's the case. I don't think every single person's social security number across these 3 countries was broken into. That would not make any sense at all. Instead, I think what would make sense is maybe 30%, maybe 40% of all of us Westerners and our social security numbers were stolen. That makes way more sense to me. But even that still is very, very high, because I feel like this headline and these stories would be even bigger. So in reality, I would say maybe 100 million people's social security numbers were taken, not 2.9 billion, right? That's a misleading headline. But big numbers get views, right? That's why you join this live stream. So 100 million people, that means there is 20 times the information of that is out there. So what are the 20 other data points? This means there's probably there's some valuable information here, right? So social security number, one tweet said addresses, perhaps phone numbers, perhaps zip codes, perhaps first name, last name. If you go down the demographic list of information, there's probably a lot of different pieces of information. So yeah, I'm guessing whichever 100 million people got screwed by this, there's a lot of other information that was found in the breach. So yeah, that's not great. I would definitely go to this website, and this makes more sense to not put your email address in here, because there must be email addresses in that breach. What other data is there? Maybe I'm just vastly mistaken here, right? Maybe a normal engineer needs to correct me on this. I'm not a professional engineer. I've coded a lot. I've built MySQL databases and played around with SQL, and just built websites and JavaScript and PHP and, Swift code and all that, but I've never, professionally spent 40 hours a week coding at a company before. Okay, so check that out. Go to haveibeenowned.com. Perhaps they will save the day. I want to see has Troy been talking about this? He hasn't really been talking about this, at least in the last 24 hours. Okay, I guess he talks about data breaches all the time. So if you want to know about data breaches, if you're into this, follow Troy Hunt. He clearly is a subject matter expert on this. Interesting. Let's look up NPD in his thing. Okay. Yes. Sweet. Some juicy stories. Now we're talking. Now we're fucking talking. Let's get some information. Troy has something to say about NPD. This shady website, NPD. I want to know who they are and what the cybersecurity expert has to say. Let's go. Troy, what do you got to say? New it's unverified, but USA Today and MSN.com are talking about it? The origin and accuracy of the data is highly questionable, including the 134 million exposed email addresses. Oh, shit. So there is a lot of email. Okay. The story got way more attention than the data itself warranted, and I'm still seeing hyperbolic headlines on it today. Going through it in insufficient detail to write long blog posts like this is massively time consuming, but this one warranted it. Oh, fuck. Okay. Is this just all a farce? Is this okay? For example, just read this from today. I leaked the personal data of 3 billion users in a story that is also almost certainly overblown. I read 3 billion people, which is many times in excess of reality. That is what I've determined in this live stream. I've determined this exact thing. There is not 3 billion people's social security records that were stolen. That is almost half of the the global Earth population. This does not make sense. It does not make sense. And the number of times I've seen stories either alluding to or explicitly stating that this many people had their SSNs exposed. Just how many Americans are there? Rows of data does not equal people. Exclamation equal. So that's the engineering programmers lingo for it. Does not equal. Does not equal. Okay. That's not to write the whole thing off either, as the SSN dumps in particular contain real data and reportedly some invalid data, along with a bunch of other PII. PII stands for personal identity information. That was the first collection of records dumped when this thing started making news. What was the first thing? The SSNs? But the long tail of partial dumps... Sorry, I can't take this seriously. Partial dumps. Oh, man. Oh, is it too good? Don't you hate a partial dump? I sure do. Drink up. Drink up more coffee so you can avoid partial dumps. All right. But the long tail of partial dumps is highly suspect. My own email address being against some other guy's data, for example. Or the criminal DB being included when that appeared in a separate breach once again, and the constant appearance of partial sets by anonymous parties. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't really think about this. This is my first time really diving deep-ish into a cybersecurity issue without beyond just the headline and the first few paragraphs of an article. This makes sense that these huge breaches have occurred, and this hasn't been complete world chaos. If data is being exposed, it's okay, take a profile of someone, right? Let's say you have a full identification profile of someone. It's a first name, last name, photo, where they live, where they're from, their address, their email address, their phone number, their spouse's phone number, their friends' names, their social security number, their banking information, their credit card information, all this shit, right? Like a laundry list of information. Well, in reality, it sounds like what's happening is all the information is not being stored in a same singular row or set of rows tied to each other in a database. It's all obfuscated and parts of that profile are in different parts of the database. I'm assuming that's how engineers have built these things, right? I'm probably giving a much more oversimplification of what's actually happening here. And when these breaches occur, these breaches are able to like attack and find portions of someone's profile rather than like the full profile. And what Troy is saying here, if I'm understanding correctly, is that these partial dumps is likely what's happening. It's not actually like everyone's social security number. And if a partial dump is happening, it means we don't even know if social security numbers were the thing that were being stolen. It could be just completely other information. Like NPD, let's go back to NPD. NPD here is an XML API web service expert, apparently. They'll give you their information in XML, apparently. Oh, great. Server error, 404. Fucking great. Fix your website, you hooligans. Let's see if we can go back. Oh, we can. So look at that. Their website's so broken that their home page logo is broken from their services page. That is embarrassing. That is an absolute embarrassment. Okay, so look at this. Their value prop, right? I'm a buyer, value proposition in the marketing lingo world. That means the immediate value that I'm going to get when I'm looking at a website here. They're talking about criminal records and background checks. So like that's what they're really selling here. Now, if that's the case, then they likely have more information related to these two themes, which is exactly what Troy is saying here. He's saying there's my own email address being against some other guy's data, for example, or the criminal database being included when that appeared in a separate breach once again, and the constant appearance of partial sets by anonymous parties. So what Troy is really just saying, I think, is this data breach that occurred, there's a lot of partial information from someone's identity that has been breached, and it might not necessarily even be the social security number that was breached. It might be criminal information and things like that. Okay. Troy says NPD isn't responding to journalist questions, only makes the whole thing even more vague. You can bet they're lawyered up to their eyeballs right now, and they don't have a coder to fix their damn link on their logo on their website. So they have lawyers, and we're left to fill the void of information with snippets of info by random parties with perverse incentives. Yes, this is very true. And I guess I am one of those random parties. Perverse incentives. Do you guys think this live stream is perverse? And yeah, media headlines aren't helping. Remember the mother of all breaches earlier this year? I don't actually. I have no idea. And the Rock You 2024? Nope. Don't know what that is. That was on TikTok. Probably scrolling past a girl dancing in a bikini. Nothing new in either, but when you start putting billion in the news, everyone goes a little bit crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm very happy that this cybersecurity expert has landed on saying some of the things that I was saying earlier, because I'm a cybersecurity genius. Yeah. No, I'm happy that he's saying some of the things that I mentioned earlier. I mean, once you put billion in the headlines, people just go nuts. So it's clickbait. It's classic clickbait technique. I put that shit in this headline for this live stream, which is why you guys are here and watching. And unfortunately, it seems like this is actually much worse of a story. Like there are a lot more problems to this than I even anticipated. Because the number one cybersecurity expert that tries to help the people, right? The people, and making sure their information is safe. He has, from what I understand, the best third-party service so far to know if your information is part of a data breach. This guy is saying that media outlets are blowing this out of proportion. Something's wrong here, right? If you follow my TikTok, if you haven't already, go to forest.tech on Instagram. That's for Instagram Reels, and then forest.tech.pulse on TikTok. I've been making some reaction videos about some of the stuff that's been happening in the news lately. And I don't want to make it political, by the way. I don't really care to get into politics too much. It's sometimes things are political. Technology is inherently political because technology impacts our economy and impacts our society and our behavior. And those are behavioral issues and economical issues that end up being tied to politics. So technology just substantively becomes political. And I've been commenting in some of my videos about news headlines and news stories and mainstream media's tactics. And it's interesting that Troy is very disappointed in a lot of mainstream media's headlines and articles. And these are institutions with lots of resources. They're not like some clown like me sitting here able to live stream and do some, average research across the board on an issue. These are teams of people. These are sometimes organizations with billions of dollars in the bank, with teams of editors, teams of analysts, teams of managing directors. God knows what they're doing. And they're not fact checking this shit and just putting it out there. And it's influencing so many people's opinions on a daily basis. Now, this isn't super drastic, but it does make a difference, right? Why are you putting out billion and not really fact checking and getting better sources? I'm imagining what happened, right? If USA Today published this, USA Today, I think, is too big to fail, too big to screw up, right? MSN, that's Microsoft's news network, I believe, or they're owned by Microsoft. They both put out these articles saying that 2.9 billion social security numbers were stolen. If these guys did this, I'm assuming what happened is that the chief editor was sitting at night, I don't know, he's waking up in the morning, or it's 2 a.m. They got a phone call. They're like, we just heard from someone else and someone else, Billy Bob Joe, that there was a data breach. There was 2.9 billion records. It's fact checked. I'm going to double check and text my other guy I know. And they text some cybersecurity insider at Microsoft or Apple, one of the big 5 tech companies. And they get the secret sauce to get a text message back, right? They're like, oh, all right, we double checked this with 2-3 other people. Let's run with it. Fuck it. Let's run with it. Now, likely that's what happened, I think, but that's not actual verification or substantive. It's not real substance, right? I think Troy is pointing out something really important here. I mean, we're really lacking some source and truth here. Interesting. Okay, so someone else is saying, Dinidu is saying that a lot of the data breaches that are happening today or being told and reported on today it's old news. It's actually data breaches from months and years ago. Hey, look at this guy. That's the energy I need. For what it's worth, you're doing good work. You know what? I like that shit. There we go. Okay, let's wrap this up soon. I think you guys should go to hidemyass.com. No, I'm just kidding. Not hidemyass.com. That's a place to anonymize your IP address. Go to haveibeenpwned.com, and there you will find out if your life is in danger or not. Great. Let's wrap it up, but let's see maybe 1 or 2 more inappropriate tweets from this issue. Let's see. The hackers, after they use my social security number and start getting calls from debt collectors. Yep, we saw something like that earlier. This Nick guy, fuck that. Stop tying this shit to Kamala Harris. There's nothing to do with that. It's illogical as hell. Every single American checking their bank accounts after their social security number gets leaked. Krusty Krab pizza. Krusty Krab pizza for you and me. They have your social security number, and who cares? So does every job I've ever worked for, and they've stolen far more from me than every hacker could. All right, let's tie it up with this guy. Oh man, I'm gonna retweet this. That is fucking good. That is good. This is gold. Yeah, that's right. If you don't follow me on Twitter already, I am Faris Sheik on Twitter. Just look up at Trixmasta, Trixmasta. That's my personal Twitter. And yeah, good content, hopefully. Anyways, over 20 people on this live stream across 5 different platforms today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try to cover some more breaking stories, hopefully that don't involve, your personal information being at risk. I hope you go out to Target and buy yourself some delicious cold brew. Drink up, stay caffeinated, stay hydrated, and have a good rest of your day. Take care, guys.